Welcome to the Hidden Truth Stories channel. Today, we're diving deep into an unexplored historical mystery. The attic air hung thick and golden, cut into dusty shafts by the single dormer window overlooking the sleepy New England town of Havenwood. It was in this forgotten space, amidst trunks smelling of cedar and mothballs, that Elara Vance found the photograph hidden carefully inside an old almanac. A small, sepia-toned image tucked into the spine of a first-edition almanac from 1888, a book her great aunt Clementine insisted held absolutely no value. This unexpected dismissal instantly made the book fascinating to Elara, a researcher who distrusted simple explanations and lived for strange deviations from ordinary history. As a PhD candidate in historical archaeology with a restless mind, she often felt drawn toward forgotten objects that seemed to hum with untold stories inside them. She held the photograph closer, studying the edges and the faint chemical scent lingering on its aged surface, and felt an immediate, unsettling pull. The image itself appeared ordinary at first glance, simply showing a young girl standing beside an ornate garden urn in what looked like fading evening light. The girl seemed perhaps 12 years old, her posture rigid, her expression solemn, her dark braided hair falling over the high collar of her Victorian dress. But the only unusual, striking detail was the light source, a soft glow that seemed not to come from the sun, but instead from the girl herself. This glow illuminated her figure strangely, casting the surrounding shadows into deeper darkness, while creating a gentle halo of ethereal brightness around her entire form. It gave the whole scene an intimate yet uncanny quality, like an old memory partially rewritten by time, refusing to fade or behave like normal photographic light. Elara, accustomed to decoding the silent language of old artifacts, felt a deep, magnetic curiosity tugging her toward the truth hidden beneath this faded moment. It was the same internal sensation she experienced whenever she uncovered the first clue to a forgotten event, like pressing her ear to a sleeping world. It felt as though she were leaning toward a locked door behind which a silent engine was still turning, waiting patiently for someone to understand it. Elara's research quickly revealed that the girl was not a known relative, and no one in the family tree matched her solemn face or distinctive clothing style. Nor did the ornate garden urn resemble anything owned by wealthy Havenwood families of that era, whose decorative tastes followed predictable colonial revival patterns and influences. The urn in the photograph was carved from dark, heavily veined stone, etched with unfamiliar symbols that defied easy categorization or alignment with American folk traditions. There was a swirling helix, an 8-pointed star, and a crescent laid across its center, arranged with unsettling precision and meaning Elara could only guess at. The background revealed another anomaly, a low stone wall constructed of massive, irregular blocks fitted seamlessly together without mortar, a technique foreign to the region entirely. Its cyclopean design reminded her of ancient pre-Columbian sites she had studied, places steeped in forgotten ritual knowledge long overshadowed by modern historical narratives and assumptions. But every lead she followed, archives, census records, property documents, dissolved into nothing useful, swallowed by the normal histories of whalers, timber merchants, and quiet New England lives. This left the photograph floating in her research like a stubborn, tantalizing ghost, refusing to anchor itself to any known person, family, or location from the era. The breakthrough came unexpectedly from a neglected footnote in a transcription of a 17th-century Puritan diary, filled mostly with fevered warnings and fear-soaked religious complaints. The entry mentioned the children of the Starstone, said to dwell near the place of first shadow, beside a waterway once called the ancient Black Creek. Black Creek, she realized with a subtle shiver, was the old, discarded name for the stream flowing behind her family's property, a place she knew intimately from childhood. She had played beside its banks, unaware that the gentle water had once carried a name whispered in fear by early settlers who sensed something strange there. The cryptic diary reference, paired with the geological clues from the stone urn's unusual veining, made her suspect the photograph captured a ritual site of forgotten origin. Driven by curiosity and unease, Alara packed the photograph into her field bag and followed the creek's winding path through the undergrowth toward the old wooded rise. She moved slowly through the brush, comparing the photograph's faded background to the terrain before her, searching for any sign of the distinctive stone wall. Hours passed before she finally discovered it, hidden beneath dense tangles of thorny shrubs and clusters of old mountain laurel that had grown undisturbed for generations. The wall looked exactly like the one in the image, enormous, irregular blocks pressed together with uncanny precision, forming a structure both ancient and strangely enduring. To Alara's trained eyes, the masonry suggested knowledge far older than colonial settlement, constructed with methods she recognized only in obscure archaeological sites scattered across the continent. More startling, at the base of the wall, she found a circular stone foundation matching the placement of the urn in the photograph with exacting precision. Weathered but intact, it seemed to pulse faintly with old energy, as though waiting for the return of something long removed and long forgotten by the world. She pulled out a high-sensitivity magnetometer, sweeping it slowly over the soil until the reading spiked abruptly, registering an intense, localized magnetic anomaly beneath the foundation center. The signal was far too strong and concentrated to be produced by naturally occurring minerals or random geological formations, common to the area's bedrock composition. It felt as though the earth itself was quietly humming, vibrating with a low, ancient frequency that stirred something deep inside her scientific instinct and imagination. That night, back in her warmly lit home library, she examined the photograph again with more powerful magnification, searching for any detail she might have overlooked initially. The mysterious glow surrounding the girl's figure seemed different now, more like an active field reacting to her presence than a trick of old chemicals or fading light. The girl's right hand, partially hidden by the skirt's folds, was resting gently on the urn, her fingers forming a deliberate gesture resembling a precise and purposeful mudra. It was no accidental position. It suggested focused intent, as though she were channeling, regulating, or interacting with something invisible but immensely powerful beneath her touch. Alara's breath caught as her mind assembled the clues. The urn was not decorative but functional, a conduit or resonant tool designed for specific, possibly ritualistic energy work. The girl in the photograph was not simply posing beside the urn. She was participating in some process, some focused act that required her presence and specific touch. Alara realized the object must have been a focal point, some kind of early energy conduit or antenna designed by an unknown culture with forgotten technological understanding. The magnetic anomaly beneath the site proved there was a hidden structure underground, something engineered rather than naturally formed, humming faintly with restrained but persistent power. Enlisting the help of Mr. Silas, a retired civil engineer known for his quiet curiosity and respect for old mysteries, she prepared a careful excavation plan. Together, they worked slowly, clearing away soil and debris until they uncovered a perfectly preserved antechamber carved directly into the bedrock beneath the stone foundation. Its entrance was blocked by a round slate disc, flawlessly shaped, inscribed with the same swirling helix and 8-pointed star carved into the photograph's mysterious urn. The chamber inside was astonishingly dry, untouched by time, centered around a stone pedestal where the urn must have once stood as a vital component. Set into the floor was a matrix of polished metal conduits, arranged with deliberate geometry, all feeding into a deep cylindrical well descending into the earth. Ilara knelt at the well's edge, shining her light downward, and her heart raced when she glimpsed a softly glowing crystalline object humming with rhythmic power. It was the unmistakable source of the magnetic anomaly she had detected earlier, radiating energy that vibrated gently through the stone and into the surrounding air. Beside the well lay a leather-bound journal, astonishingly preserved, its pages fragile but still legible, waiting silently for someone to rediscover the truth recorded inside. The author identified himself as Dr. Alastair Thorne, guardian to the girl in the photograph, and a scientist whose brilliance had driven him into reclusive obscurity. Thorne wrote of his fascination with early electrical experimentation,